You are Locked On Marlins Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, Fish fans? Welcome to another episode of Locked On Marlins Postcast. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. It's good to have you here on your Tuesday and just another day and another loss for the Marlins. But aside from that, we'll be all right, is what I'm going to say, because, we got a lot to talk about in this game. And they did hold the Diamondbacks to 4 hits today. Eduardo Cabrera with a nice job on the hill for Miami, but it was not to be and would not be enough for your Miami Marlins. They lose 3-1. You hold a team to 4 hits. I mean, you're pretty much hoping and thinking that you're going to be all right? Corbin, Carroll, Lourdes, Gurriel Jr., homer for the DBacks. Eduardo Rodriguez. Think at the winter meetings, he's there talking to all the teams. Hey, I took the year off. I didn't go to the Dodgers. He's with the Diamondbacks. Now, they have the best record in Major League Baseball since July 1st, okay? So Corbin, Carroll, homered, singled, scored on a base hit by Jock Peterson. Unbelievable, man. Rodriguez, 1 run, 6 hits, 5 1/3 innings, third start of the season, activated on the injured list August 7th. He's 2-0, struck out 5, walked 1. That lefty arm, the way that he throws that sinker, oh, man, that's crazy. He's legit one of the better guys. And so the thing about him moving forward with the Diamondbacks, and it's just really interesting when you think about it. First things first, when you talk about this dude, and I'm going to get to a little bit more on this in just a couple of minutes, but with Rodriguez, he's been with the Red Sox for years, with the Tigers for years. He's been a 13-game winner 3 times. He's been a 19-6 year in 2019. This year, 2-0 in 3 starts. 2-0 in 3 starts. Last year, 13-9. You know what I'm saying? And then the whole Dodger thing happened. So he's with the Diamondbacks. And the way that he pitches is pretty interesting, right? When you think about this dude and the way that he throws the baseball. So just take the bottom of the first inning, and you got Xavier Edwards. Xavier Edwards is a really good hitter for the Marlins. A contact hitter. He's a guy who can hit anything. Xavier Edwards, right? 4-seam fastball, 90, 89. That's it. 5 in a row. 90, 89, 5 in a row. To have that kind of confidence in a fastball that's not coming in that fast is really something else. Tells you about the location, tells you about the movement, tells you about this moving it in, out, up, down, all the way, right? Sinker, 91. You know what I'm saying? And he will throw the change. So he's got a sinker, fastball change. And it's sinker, fastball change, a 4-seamer. Meaning the fingers are across 4 of the seams, not 2, and it moves different. You know what I'm saying. So you guys know how it goes with a 2-seamer versus a 4-seamer. But, man, he was good tonight regardless of how many seams he was throwing. There's no way you were going to get him off of there and off his groove tonight. It didn't go super far into the game, obviously. 5 1/3, 6 hits, an earned run. And why would you with the bullpen they have? Thompson, A.J. Puk, inning in 2/3, just 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Former Marlin. Josh Bell did play today, too. Former Marlin. See the welcome back up there. Josh Bell played first, went 0 for 4. Came out for a defensive replacement late in the game. So Carroll goes 2 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. Had the homer. He had a dreadful start to the year. Still not doing all that well. Leadoff guy for the Diamondbacks. Sensation a year ago. Jock Peterson 1 for 2. Gurriel 1 for 3. They had 4 hits, man. The Marlins had 7. How do they only score 1 run on 7 hits? 1 for 9 with runners on scoring position. Xavier Edwards knocked a run in. Berger had a double. They just never really got anything going. They didn't have much in the way of threats either. I mean, here with the Marlins. The Diamondbacks in the first inning picked up the first run of the game against Cabrera. And Cabrera's been good. He's been good. He didn't quite get to 6 innings, 3 runs tonight, but he was all right. He gave you a quality start. Carroll singles, goes to second on a balk. Peterson singles, and Carroll scores. It's 1-zip, 1 run on 2 hits. 1-2-3 in the second for Cabrera. In fact, the Diamondbacks wouldn't score again until the 5th inning. Make that yeah, I had it right. The 5th inning. Am I thinking? There it is. My eyes were deceiving me for a second there. I thought it was the 5th inning. Yeah, it's because Newman bunts, grounds out to the catcher on a bunt. Try to lead off bunt. No. Fly out to center, 2 outs. You're almost through the inning. Carroll with a line drive home run to left field, smashed right down the line. Also had a great running catch tonight, and I'm going to get to that catch in a minute. The Marlins did score in the bottom of the 5th inning, and we are looking at it right now. Pache doubles to left. Stowers pops out to third. Fortes flies to left. Edwards singles to right. Pache scores. Berger grounds into the fielder's choice. It's 2-1. It would become 3-1, top of the 6th, when Gurriel Jr. homers to left field, 414 feet. 3-1 Diamondbacks. Then the bottom of the 6th comes for Miami. Jonah Bride walks. Hill flies out. Norby doubles. Bride can only go to third. Lopez pops out to short. Jeremy Sanchez. Shout out to my boy, Jeremy Sanchez, one of my friends for the last 8 years. Anyway, Jesus Sanchez lines out to right. So here's the situation. My parents went away on a week's vacation. Literally, 2 on. Bride's on third. Norby's on second. Here comes the Bride. He's going to score. Norby 2. Because this ball was crushed by Jesus Sanchez. This ball's going in the gap between, yeah, you saw it, right field and center field. This ball's getting down. There's no way. It's crushed. It's crushed. It's easy 2 runs. Tie game. Off the bat, it's one of those balls off the bat that you see and you bang. Oh, man, this game's tied. And it's a double. Easy, maybe a triple. Not with Corbin Carroll out there. Had the homer and the single and everything else, but he just got a great – it's easier to get a jump on a ball hit by a lefty when you're in right field than a righty because hook versus slice, you know what I'm saying? But, man, that ball was flying. And with a lefty, you know what I'm saying? It's hooking back toward you so you can actually overrun it. But not on this ball. It was hit so hard, it wasn't hooking anywhere. It was a seed, a bullet. And you got a perfect jump, full speed, leaping, sliding grab, and save 2 runs. Nothing you can do when a guy makes a play like that. Tip the cap, maybe put a middle finger behind it, and that's the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? You just got to give it to him a little bit because that's a big-time play by a big-time player in a big-time spot, and that's what they do, and that's what he did. Period, point blank. I mean, there's nothing else you're really going to say about it than that. Big-time player making a big-time play. Coach Erickson used to say that. Shout out to the U. Here we come. Coach Erickson used to say this. Coach E, Dennis Erickson. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, and Corbin Carroll made all of them today. He made all of them today for the Diamondbacks. I don't care if he's hitting 221. He's a big-time player. They're a big-time team. They're probably going to the World Series again with Rodriguez in the rotation now. With what they've been doing since July 1st, they're almost unbeatable. They are almost unbeatable. And let's not forget they have the Dodgers number in the postseason. They do. Ever since the Dodgers decided to celebrate in the pool. Remember that? Marlins should have a pool. Do they have a pool? It's a good question. Anyway, you everydayers might know. And if you don't, and maybe someone else might know because you guys are big Marlins fans. But yeah, Corbin Carroll, Lourdes Gurriel homers for Arizona. Eduardo Rodriguez gets the win. He's 2-0 with a 3.94. Maybe the best beard in the major leagues. I love that thing. But he's got experience in big spots as well. What in the world is going on here? Yikes. Pop-ups. And not the kind we see during the baseball game. The kind that we don't want to see anywhere, anytime, while we're doing anything, is what I'm going to say. But just a tough go for the Marlins again. And look, the DBacks are the best team in baseball right now. The Padres have been on fire since July 1st, too. That division... I am going to tell you what. That division, mi hermanos y hermanas, that division is insane. All right, you're talking the Dodgers at 74-52. Red hot from the start of the season. Ohtani, Betts, that pitching rotation that all went up in smoke, and then they got to bring in all these guys to pitch for them to start the year. Then they get all those guys out of there, get all their guys back. Kershaw's back. Everybody's back for the Dodgers, except Mookie Betts is even back, but he's not playing shortstop. But during that time while he was out, and during that time, the Dodgers they've turned it around. They had a little bit of a lull in July. And while they did, look at the Padres and Diamondbacks are both 7-3 in their last 10. So are the Dodgers. Just to keep that 3-game lead, they had to go 7-3. So you got the Padres 3 out, Diamondbacks 3.5 out, and all 3 teams have 70 wins or more. To put that in perspective, the Guardians and Twins, the Yankees and Orioles, and the Phillies all have 70 wins. The Braves have 67. And I saw a feature on this the other night. 65 wins for the Red Sox. There are based on the total number of wins by how many teams versus how many games they played, total wins, adding everybody's wins together and then dividing them up. Yankees was 73, Orioles was 74, Dodgers was 74, Phillies 73. There are more teams with 70 wins and more teams bunched up at the top of the standings than I've seen in a long time. And a big reason why: the Marlins, the Rockies, the Pirates have been terrible lately, man. They hit the skids. They were about 4 games out for a minute there. Now they're 14. They're gone. So throw them in there. With the White Sox, 30 wins. You have a 30-win team, a 47-win team, and a 46-win team. You never have 3 teams that bad. Never have 1 team. Very rarely have 1 team that bad. Now you got 3. And you have a team that in the Pirates has 58 wins, and the Angels with 53, and the A's with 54, and the Rangers with 58. 59 for the Blue Jays, 30 for the White Sox. Discrepancy is absurd in Major League Baseball this year. You have the really haves, the haves, and the really have-nots. And a lot of really haves and a lot of haves. And I'm not talking about halves with an L. Haves, Haves, as in they have it and you don't. Man, the Marlins again with a tough one tonight. I'm late for a break, but I wanted to make sure I hit that point. You're watching the Locked On Marlins postcast with me, Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. You got to love the Jimi Hendrix shirt, right? Who's the greatest guitar player of all time? Prince. Yeah, that's right. They asked Eric Clapton, and he said, I don't know, ask Prince. Have you ever seen the solo for the George Harrison tribute? My guitar gently weeps. I don't know, though. It's still tough to top Jimi Hendrix. Wouldn't it be great to see either one of them play at Lone Depot Park before or after a Marlins game? I bet you that would sell a Marlins game out. All right, DBacks going deep, 5 home runs in 2 games in this series. Battle of the Eds, because Edward wouldn't fit on the screen, and neither would Eduardo, but Eduardo Rodriguez besting Edward Cabrera. Pretty good pitching matchup with Edward Cabrera. Has been good for the Marlins lately, and we will give you those numbers as well as welcome back. Your trades were your ticket out. Josh Bell and A.J. Puk back in Miami today. Both played today. We'll tell you how they did. And then the series wraps up tomorrow so the D-backs can get done whooping up on the Marlins and go beat someone else. I think they're going to Boston. You're watching Locked On Marlins Postcast with me, Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. I want to thank you for making us your first listen every day. We're free, available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And we are telling you what, it's so much fun being here. Today's show brought to you by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers, and that's right, I said all FanDuel customers, can bet $5 and get a 3-week trial for free. NFL Sunday Ticket, YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started today. That deal is absolutely absurd, by the way. That deal is absurd. We'll be right back with that info we talked about with the guys coming back to play today in Miami. And then obviously the D-backs going deep in the Battle of the Eds. Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And you've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. I said America's #1 sportsbook is FanDuel. Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, I just teased the spot. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is Google account, current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. But you never would. Why would you? Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to download America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel, on the Locked On Podcast Network. There we go, Fish fans. And you hold a team to 4 hits and you pretty much think you're gonna win the game, right? I mean, you 4 hits, guys. Come on. How many walks tonight? They gave up 6 free passes last night, plus 3 hit batsmen. How many? See, that's the thing, man. 3, 4 more walks. That's a killer. How many hit batsmen? No hit batsmen tonight. So 4 walks, 4 hits. It's like 8 hits. You're giving them free. The thing is, when you hit the ball, you have to put it where they have to get Yogi Berra. You got to hit them where they ain't. Number 1. You got to beat it out. Number 2. Got to hope they make an error. Number 3. Maybe the catcher drops a 3rd strike. Number 4. You got to earn your way on base. First base is the only base you got to earn that. You can steal second. You can do whatever you want. You can't steal first. You can't steal first. And to give first base away 4 times for free for nothing, it's terrible. Diamondbacks don't walk anybody. Their pitchers don't walk anybody. Marlins don't draw walks. Perfect combo for the Diamondbacks. It's like an ex I had. I told her it's perfect for you. I love you and you love you. It's a great relationship for you. Yeah. Marlins don't like to walk. Diamondbacks don't like to walk anybody. Beautiful, beautiful matchup for the Diamondbacks. The Marlins had 7 hits. Norby had 2 of them, third baseman. Berger had a double. Edwards had 1. Bride had a hit. Lopez and Pache. But the only real threat was when Corbin and Carroll ran down that liner, and it was a seed off the bat of Sanchez. That ties the game right there. Baseball really is a game of inches. But when you do all the little things right, like not walking 1,000 people, not hitting batsmen, not letting people take extra bases all day long, what do you think they would have learned from what the Reds came in and did to them with Ellie De La Cruz? Seems like a month ago now. Crazy, right? Diamondbacks lead the current series 2-0. 9-6, 3-1, they won. Regular season series, Marlins have won 2 and lost 3. Tomorrow, they could tie the Diamondbacks to the season series, right? Remember, they were a playoff team a year ago. Diamondbacks ended up going to the World Series, beat the Phillies in the NLCS. Great year for them. 3 2/3 innings of one-hit ball after Rodriguez left the game for Ryan Thompson, A.J. Puk, and Justin Martinez. And the Marlins, with their 7 hits, they had 5 doubles. 5 hitters reached second base, which is scoring position, meaning you can score on a hit from there. 5 doubles. 5. 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. 3rd homer in 5 games, by the way, for Carroll. Number 14 on the season overall. Sinker from Cabrera that just didn't sink enough, obviously. Anytime you hit a sinker out, it didn't sink enough or late enough. Xavier Edwards RBI single in the bottom of the 5th. And then Gurriel hit his 414-foot homer. Why do they write 414? Just write 415. 4 hits in 6 innings allowed by Cabrera. Walked 3, struck out 3. Not a great game, not a bad game. Anthony Bender, of course, is still on the IL for the Marlins doing rehab activities in Jupiter. Roderick Munoz is going to start the series finale for the Marlins, and the DBacks have not announced a starter yet. So there you have it. That's going to be tomorrow's game when they finish up this series. And then after that, the Marlins, I'll get you that in a minute. Let's see. Hold on. There we go. Where are we at here? Okay, so the Diamondbacks. Here we go. They play schedule. I think it's Boston. I think the announcers were saying they go up to Boston after this. Yeah, they do. 4-10, 1-10, 10-35. Weekend series in Beantown. Then they have the Mets and the Dodgers coming into town. That's going to be fun. 4 games against the Dodgers in Arizona, August 30th through September 2nd. 2 of them against San Diego to close the season. 3 against San Diego to close the season. So they have 7 games left against the Dodgers and the Padres. That's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait for all that, actually. It's going to be great. It'll be great. The pennant races are fun. And the pennant races exactly what you are going to find when you check out my boy Paul Sullivan, a.k.a. Sully, on the Locked On MLB podcast. Thank you for making us your first listen. For your second one, go see Sully in Locked On MLB. He's here daily to provide national expertise with his trademark humor to get you ready for the MLB playoffs here in the dog days of summer. Prepare for the fall classic with Sully. He's got it all covered every single day on Locked On MLB, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Yo team every single day. All right, man. And the Marlins, they have to be your team, right? Rodriguez good, though, for the Diamondbacks. Got that heavy ball that he throws. It's not just the speed. It's moving it around. It's up. It's down. It's the movement on the pitches. It's the sinker dropping down late. He's 31 years old, master of his craft at this point. You know what I'm saying, right? Eduardo Rodriguez, nice win today. He's a great addition for the Diamondbacks. And I used to call them the Diamondbackins. In 2001, I did a show in Arizona. I lived in Arizona for 3 years. Arizona The Diamondbacks beat the Yankees in the World Series when I lived there. And yeah, that was interesting because they backed into the playoffs that year. And I call them the Diamondbackins because they were a wild card. They backed in. They got hot. They wanted it to happen so many times. They almost did it again last year. They might do it this year. But this year, they might win the division. I called Padres a couple weeks ago. I still think something about the Padres that makes me believe that they are that team this year. It's probably their bullpen because in the playoffs, that's what wins is defense in a bullpen. And everybody knows this. I mean, come on. Not living under a rock, people. We're not living under a rock. You're watching Locked On Marlins Postcast. Jim Grieshaber calling me, Grease. One more break to go. When we come back, we look ahead to the series finale. And then the next series coming for your Miami Marlins. And we'll tell you what team is coming into town and what you can expect from that series. You're watching the Locked On Marlins Postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. As we continue here with your Locked On Marlins Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And I am here to sing from the rooftops about Prize Picks. I'm not on a rooftop and I can't sing, but you know what I'm saying. It's a figure of speech. Give me a break. I'm a broadcaster. We don't believe half the things we say or even know what we're talking about half the time. Just listen to the media critics and all the papers and the websites around the country. They'll tell you we know nothing. But even though I know nothing, I do know that Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. It's the easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, just you against the numbers. You pick more, you pick less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. Just sit there, just sit on your phone and deposit. You ever with a dude that does that? It's a good night. Let me tell you that. All you do is pick more, pick less, 2 to 6 player stat projections, and watch the winnings roll in. So nice. I had to say it twice. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. Coming up to 100 extra money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Turn a $10 bet into $1,000 or a $10 deposit into $1,000. Sign up today. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. It's available in more than 30 states across the country. Prize Picks is, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You're going to download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Run your game, brother. What you going to do? Download Prize Picks today. I might need help, but it's okay, right? Everybody loves Hulk Hogan. He's like Babe Ruth of wrestling. When I was a kid, Hulk Hogan was right up there with Michael Jordan. Yes, I said it. He was right up there with Michael Jordan. All right, what are we getting at now? We are looking ahead to tomorrow's game. Marlins, Diamondbacks, the series finale, and we are looking ahead to that. So the Marlins will have Roderick Munoz on the mound. He's got the sinker, those hard mid-90s. He's been good lately. He's been very good. And that is something that you got to have a good game out of him tomorrow. He hasn't been great, but you got to have a good game out of him tomorrow. D-backs are undecided, meaning that who knows? And the Yankees are playing Cleveland right now in the 11th inning. This is dope. We're going to hit the scoreboard. Un momento, por favor. All right, so you have the Chicago Cubs coming into town. Terrible Harry Carey. All my accents are bad, just so you know. But it's all good. You know what I'm saying? When it's all bad, it can still be all good. You know what I mean. So the Cubbies coming in for 3, and then it's 4 at Colorado in the Stink Bowl series. Which team's going to be the worst team in the National League? Oh, they got a chance with the Rockies. And they still have 6 games against Washington left, 3 against Philly, 3 against Atlanta, 3 against Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Toronto, 3 each, and the Dodgers with 3, and the Giants after Colorado. So it'll go Cubs, Rockies, Giants, Nats, Phillies, Pirates, Nats again for 4, Dodgers, Braves, Twinkies, at Toronto. They finished the season north of the border, up in Drakeland. Maybe Drake will bet on the Blue Jays and the Marlins can get a sweep. Bet on the Blue Jays for the sweep, Driz. Bet on the Blue Jays for the sweep. I'll buy him dinner at Prime 112. He thinks I'm kidding. Driz, he didn't lose that beef, by the way, with Kendrick. Actually, nobody won. But Drizzy, come on. Dude, please, really. Anyway. You're embarrassing yourselves. I just have to tell you that. You're embarrassing yourselves. Everyone who's like, Kendrick, you're embarrassing yourselves. You're talking about the GOAT in Drake. And I'm not saying he's the best rapper. I'm not saying he's the best artist. I'm saying he's the GOAT. I'm saying he broke everybody's records. I'm saying Madonna, Mariah Carey, the Beatles, everyone's records are broken by Drizzy. The only thing he can't do is break the bank. Every time he bets on a sports team or a fighter or anything, he loses. Blue Jays for the sweep, Driz, up in Toronto. Up in the 6. Get that 6 god out to the stadium. You know what I'm saying? DBacks going deep, win 3-1. They're about to sweep the Marlins if they win again tomorrow. They don't know who they're pitching. Would it really matter? Think about the Marlins. 6 walks, 3 hit batsmen. 5 of those guys scored yesterday. Today, 4 more walks. The Diamondbacks had 4 hits. 4 freaking hits. 4. 2 of them were home runs. And Peterson had the other RBI that scored Carroll on a base hit, but it just, you walk 4 people. You only gave up 4 hits, and you had 7 hits yourself, and 5 of them were doubles. Yeah, Carroll made a great catch to get them out of an inning, and great teams with great players do that stuff all the time. Nothing real earth-shattering there. That's what they do. But man, just that one ball. I mean, all year long, like the announcers were saying yesterday, the Marlins don't really have an identity. They don't really have a style. They're a revolving door, but they always get the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning. And that is your Miami Marlins. And that's also going to put an end to our show in just a minute here today. Actually, one more thing real quick. I want to hit the scoreboard for you guys, because I promised you I would. And there's some good games going on, some good races, none of which involve the Marlins. I know, but hey, we're South Floridians, right? Which means even if we're natives, the Marlins didn't come till 1993. So unless you were born and you're 30 or younger or older or younger, 30 or younger, right? You're going to have another team. You're going to like the Yankees. You're going to like the Red Sox. If you're brain dead, you're going to like the Red Sox. You're going to like the Dodgers. You know what I mean? Most of you are going to like the Yankees because the Yankees games were always on in South Florida. Your dads, your grandfathers, everybody's listening to them forever. So I shall give you the Yankees score. 3-3 in the top of the 11th against Cleveland. The Yankees and Guardians both with 52 Ls. The Yankees 73 and 52. The Guardians 72 and 52. Can't help but think back to those Yankees-Indians series in the late 90s with the great Mariano Rivera and the home run by Alomar Jr., the Indians and the Braves in the World Series. Remember Albert Bell and Kenny Lofton and all those great Indians teams. They're now the Guardians, and they are very good, man. They're very good. 3-3 game in the top of the 11th. The Guardians are right now with 2 outs, runners on first and third against Jake Cousins. We'll keep you posted. Top 9 in Chi-Town. The Cowboys coming in next. 3-1 Chicago over the Detroit Tigers. Angels, Royals, 7-5 Angels on the road in the bottom of the 7th. Royals playing well lately. Red Sox beat the Astros 6-5. No, they didn't. That game's in the 8th inning. I lied, but nobody on base. And the Red Sox are hitting, so we'll see there. Top of the 4th in San Diego, 2-1 Minnesota over the Padres. The Twins are playing really well this year as well in that AL Central. Rays and A's. Does anybody care? Zip, 4th inning in Oakland. If a baseball game's played in Oakland and nobody's there, was the baseball game played? And they take away the Tropicana for the A's. And these are not the Charlie Finley A's with Reggie Jackson, Raleigh Fingers, Vita Blue, and all those dudes winning in the early 70s. These are not the Bash Brothers, Canseco and McGuire. Nobody's safe in the left field bleachers with Ricky Henderson leading off, Dave Stewart, Bob Welch, Dennis Eckersley. These are not those A's. They're not even the Jason and Jeremy Giambi, Miguel Tejada, Barry Zito, Mark Mulder, Tim Hudson Oakland A's. They are long removed from all those versions, and they are dead as a franchise. And what do? Moving to Las Vegas. How's that working out for the Raiders? The Raiders, the embarrassment of what was once a great franchise. This is not a football show. White Sox, Giants, 1-1 in the 3rd. Mariners, Dodgers, 2-zip Seattle, bottom of the 1st. Yikes for the Dodgers. This game, 3-1 D-backs. Rockies, 3-1 over the Nats. Reds and Blue Jays, 10-3 Toronto, north of the border. The Orioles beat the Mets 9-5. They were losing 5-3 in the 7th inning. Orioles just keep on going in spite of that payroll under $90 million. How do you do it? I'd spend all that on freaking soft-shell crabs just coming out of that water down there. Phillies, Braves, 3-1 Atlanta. Phillies lose again. Atlanta's looking good again all of a sudden. And they beat Zach Wheeler tonight, too, who's now 12-6. And the Brewers and Cardinals, 3-2 Milwaukee. And the Cardinals are now 3 games under 500. They're sinking like the Titanic. Speaking of the Pirates, 4-0 over the Rangers. And it was not Skeens who pitched. The Rangers at 58-69. What happened in Texas, bruh? What happened in Texas? Deep in the heart of Texas. I hope you guys are having a good time enjoying the show here today. The Cubbies coming in next. The series finale tomorrow against the red-hot 30-13 since July 1st, Arizona Diamondbacks. And what division in baseball has been better or as good than the NL West since July 1st? Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks, lighten it up. Same thing with the East, though. Phillies, Braves, Mets have been great, too. A lot of big-time teams this year. It's top-heavy and bottom-heavy, which means the playoffs are going to be dope AF, and I cannot wait. That's all there is, Fish fans. There is no more, but your team won't be in them. That's okay. We can see these teams every day and decide who we want to root for in the playoffs based on who the Marlins played all year. And again, you'll remember, no identity, no style, revolving door. But they always bring the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning. And that, my friend, is your 2024 Miami Marlins. That and a mobile MASH unit with a bunch of ambulances instead of team buses because the pitchers that have been on the IL and then the trades, right? So the trades, the ambulances, no identity, no nothing, and they still bring the tying run to the plate every single game. It's still Major League Baseball. It's still a great time and a lot of fun watching these guys do their thing. And with that, we will bid you adieu, even though the Paris Olympics are long over, and we could still bid you adieu. Adios, ciao. How else can we say it? You know what I'm saying? Hasta la vista, baby. Thank you for watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. Thank you so much for making us your first watch/listen today, wherever you get your podcast, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Apple Music, whether it is iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you get your podcast. Thank you for being here, as well as YouTube. Yeah, Locked On Sports Miami, where you can find Locked On Canes and Locked On Dolphins and Locked On Heat and Locked On Marlins, as well as the postcast. I don't know why I'm throwing gang signs. It's not really a gang sign. I look like I'm throwing one, but it's not one. Anyway, maybe it's my own gang sign, right? Be here for the shows after every game. We're doing the postcast for the Canes, postcast for the Finns. They wrap up their preseason against Tampa Bay on Saturday. Tua and company getting closer to a big year. The Canes and Cristobal closer and closer to going to Gainesville and spinning all those Crocs out of the water on the side of the road, spun to death by the Hurricanes. All right here, Locked On, your team, your city, your league, every single day. Until next time, Fish fans, keep your game tight and your mind right. One more thing, check out Sully every day on Locked On MLB on the Locked On Podcast Network. Until tomorrow, I'm Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. Thanking you profusely for being here and spending some of your time with me today. And as always, reminding you to keep your game tight and your mind right like he did today. Big game for Corbin Carroll. 3-1 Diamondbacks over the Marlins. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Locked On Marlins Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Maybe. It's not letting me turn it off. We might be here a while. Let's see. Was it going to go away? Oh, there it goes. I mean, we could have gone forever.